Our car is packed. The forecasts have been made. I'm Chris Hurst. WDBJ 7 is on the road. We're following a team from Virginia Tech as they chase tornadoes. A live report from Leroy, Illinois is straight ahead.
Right now, WDBJ 7 is on the road in the Midwest trying to catch up with the Virginia Tech Hokie Stormchasers. Guess who else is there? WDBJ 7 anchor Chris Hurst and photojournalist Andy May. They started their journey late last night. Chris joins us now live from outside Peoria, Illinois.
That's right, Gene. We are here about halfway to our destination, which is going to be in Nebraska. There you can see where we started from in Roanoke to where we are here in the city of Leroy, Illinois, a population of about 3,600. It's kind of in the middle of Illinois. We still have a long ways to go to where we need to get to, which is North Platte, Nebraska. That is where right now a team of meteorology professors and students from Virginia Tech is going to be spending the night and much of the day tomorrow tracking what is expected to be some pretty severe weather in that area. It's part of a 2-week-long trip that they're experiencing, tracking all of this severe weather in the Midwest, seeing firsthand the impact that Mother Nature can have on our communities. And it was a very sobering experience for them earlier this week. They were outside of Dallas, Texas, tracking some tornadic activity when a tornado came through and killed half a dozen people. It was a sobering time for them. They know the seriousness and the magnitude of the coursework that they're doing as part of this. It's at the front of their minds. Now, we are here to track their progress, show you how they do it, bring you images from their trip, and also try to show you how they track these storms and stay safe at the same time. We will meet up with them hopefully around midday tomorrow in Nebraska and then be following them as they track severe weather all day Saturday afternoon and night, Sunday and Monday. We'll be bringing you reports coming up first on Sunday morning on WDBJ 7 Sunday morning, and then Monday night coming up at 6.
And I would imagine the location may change depending on where storms go. Chris, what is the team forecasting then for storms in the Midwest? Are they forecasting them for this weekend?
They are, Gene. Yeah, that area, North Platte, Nebraska, is where they're going to be stationed for the next 24 hours or so. They do expect there to be significant chances for hail. I just got off the phone with the main professor with this trip, Dave Carroll from Virginia Tech. He said that the chance for hail is very high, softball-size hail we're talking about, Gene. And then also, too, the chance for tornadic activity and tornadoes is said to be very significant over the course of Saturday, Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. The storm will be going from Nebraska and then heading east into Iowa, possibly into Missouri. We will be following them starting Saturday afternoon into Monday evening and be bringing you reports as we get them. The Hokie Stormchasers have been incredibly precise in their tracking so far. They actually think that the track is going to be going near Wichita right now. Later on this afternoon, they've been precise so far. Yesterday, they told us to go into the heart of Nebraska and then head south. After 2 days of traveling from Roanoke, we zeroed in on the Stormchasers from Virginia Tech on US 281 in central Kansas near Alma. The 14 students and 4 instructors were on the other side of this massive storm, complete with hail, lightning, and tornadoes. We just missed the team, had to turn around and finally caught up with them ahead of the supercell. Each of the vans has a student navigator and radar reader. They found exactly where to pull off and observe the storm safely. No one was hurt in Saturday's severe weather. We're outside of Russell, Kansas right now. It's just about 8 o'clock Central Time. We've finally been able to meet up with the team from Virginia Tech, the Hokie Stormchasers. They've been following this tornadic cell that has reported tornadoes, and they expect more activity well into the night. Look at what our camera facing out saw. Cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in rapid succession. The team finished for the day only an hour after we met up with them. After checking into our hotel, meteorology professor Dave Carroll says Sunday could bring even more powerful storms.
I tend to think it's going to ratchet it up a couple of notches. I think the low-level flow might be stronger than it was today. The storms took a little bit of time organizing today before they really reached that tornadic potential. I think that might occur more quickly tomorrow with a slightly more favorable wind field.
So what Dave was talking about when he was saying today, he meant yesterday. When he was saying tomorrow, he of course means today. We talked to him late last night. Susan, what we need to do right now is have a meeting with the 14 students and the 4 instructors. That's going to be happening in about 90 minutes. We are set to embark on the next part of our journey in about 90 minutes or so. Like I said, we're going to be going south and east of here near Wichita, and then we wait until the afternoon. This team has not seen a tornado touchdown yet during this past week that they've been out, but there is a possibility, a very distinct possibility, that might happen sometime later on today.
All right, let's head back out to Oklahoma and live to Chris Hurst. Chris, what are you seeing? Where are you right now?
Well, Gene, right now we are chasing a storm cloud that is about 10 miles outside of Sulphur, Oklahoma. That is about 20, 25, 30 miles south of Oklahoma City and more, where we understand that a tornado has touched down on that area, and we understand that it is a devastating tornado in that area. We were not able to track that tornado with the Hokie Stormchasers that you might be able to see in front of me. It's just simply too dangerous for us to chase tornadoes in metro areas, but that doesn't mean that this past weekend with them hasn't been adrenaline-filled and incredibly volatile.
We're ratcheting it up little by little, day by day.
Inside a motel room in Hays, Kansas, 14 students and 4 instructors from Virginia Tech are coming up with a game plan.
If there's an outflow boundary, it may reside somewhat a little bit north of Wichita.
They only have a few hours to drive hundreds of miles south to Wichita to make it there by early Sunday afternoon. There's a moderate risk for tornadoes there, and the Hokie Stormchasers are trying to observe a twister as part of their studies. Wichita is in the distance, and we drive to outside the town of Clearwater. The students take pictures of what before they had only ever seen in textbooks: huge wall clouds and low-hanging formations that could spout funnel clouds. For years, Virginia Tech has sent teams of students to the Midwest to chase storms. Only last year did it introduce a meteorology degree. Now the program is rapidly growing as storm predicting is becoming even more important to save lives.
How long do you think we have?
Yeah, I think it's time to go.
Just minutes after we were forced to leave this cell, police would later tell us 200 windshields were broken from softball-sized hail.
A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Viola.
We have to keep our distance to protect the students and equipment, but the storm later produced a tornado that touched down in Wichita. This is right where we are, just southwest of Howard, Kansas. We've been following this cluster of storms all Sunday afternoon. These ones not showing too much rotation, just general rotation. So now we're going to go south, possibly into Oklahoma, for our next round of storm chasing. For the rest of Sunday afternoon, more driving, more radar observations, and more wall clouds that could make tornadoes. But Sunday came and went without any confirmed sighting.
So now back live here on, we believe to be Route 29. We are heading south near the Red River. There is 3 Virginia Tech storm chasing vehicles in front of us. Like I said, we're going to be out here for about another hour trying to chase what are these supercells that have at least produced one tornado. We are watching the wall clouds, trying to look for funnel clouds descending. We'll pull off here in a few minutes and try to see what we can see. These students haven't yet been able to see a tornado in person, but we were talking about the damage that is reported in Oklahoma City, and they were all very concerned, a very sobering experience for all of them. Andy May, photojournalist Andy May, and I will actually be heading up to Moore, Oklahoma later on tonight, and tomorrow we will be bringing you coverage of the tornado that touched down outside of Oklahoma City. For now, reporting in Oklahoma, Chris Hurst, WDBJ7.
Chris Hurst is following storms around Oklahoma as well. He has been traveling with the Hokie Stormchasers from Virginia Tech, but since this catastrophic disaster, he's been trying to get as close as he can to the damaged areas. He joins us live. Chris, where are you now?
Holly, we are on Telephone Road. That is just about one street over from I-95, and that cuts right through Oklahoma City and into the city of Moore. And Moore is just south of Oklahoma City. and just north of the University of Oklahoma. We have been driving for about 2 hours stuck in traffic and have only been able to move a few miles at a time. It is an incredibly disturbing and eerie sight as we are finally able to drive now on this road into where we think is going to be a command post coming up near the epicenter of where all of this damage is. We were talking about an elementary school that was partially destroyed. We are probably only about 0.4 of a mile south of that location right now, and it's eerie because the sky is pitch black save for a few choppers in the sky, and there's searchlights trying to illuminate any houses or any rubble where people might still be trapped. And aside from that, there is only the flash of emergency lights to illuminate this area. A lot of homes are still in the dark, even if they weren't damaged. We can hear the sound of generators going by. And really, one of the most fascinating things that we're seeing is just the number of people just walking almost aimlessly, some with flashlights, some in ATVs, some on four-wheelers, but everybody just kind of in a state of shock right now. There is still the immediate recovery process and search and rescue process going on right now. We are approaching a road here on Telephone Road, 134th Street, and there's about 20 ambulances just waiting. The problem is right now, Holly, is that where we are, they are in recovery mode of bodies. Search and rescue efforts are starting to wind down. These ambulances have nowhere to go because there are no survivors being found at this point.
WDBJ7 anchor Chris Hurst has been in Moore since Monday. Chris is live where the tornado destroyed homes and killed at least 24 people.
And that now newly classified EF5 tornado is still subject to change, even fatalities. Search and rescue crews have been scouring this area all afternoon, trying to find any possible survivors. Here where I am, near residential areas, downtown Moore, which is south of Oklahoma City. Efforts were slowed today because of even more thunderstorms in the area, but thankfully they were not as severe as yesterday. Every single person we spoke said, not again, not here, not more. An EF5 twister devastated Moore back in 1999, and yesterday it happened again.
This was like three buildings right here, and they were like together, and there's an insurance company and a telephone company.
And a beauty shop.
And a beauty shop, yeah. And then that was 7-Eleven, like it was 7-Eleven.
We are right where that 7-Eleven used to be, on the corner of Southwest 4th Street and Telephone Road here in Moore, Oklahoma. The entire building is destroyed. It smells only of energy drinks and alcohol now, Gene. We understand 3 people died here at this 7-Eleven when the tornado came through. 2 of them, a mother and her 5-month-old baby.
WDBJ7 anchor Chris Hurst witnessed the destruction in Moore, Oklahoma firsthand today. While some people lost everything they have, others are finding hope in the destruction.
As search teams and rescue dogs looked for any possible survivors, families whose homes were leveled combed through mud for any reminder of life before Monday.
A lot of their neighbors stayed because if they left, they couldn't get back in last night.
While some pitched tents in subdivisions, others struggled to cope with the destruction.
And like the hospital, we didn't have one of those for a while either. And then we just got it, like a couple years ago, and look at it.
The tornado had wind speeds of up to 200 miles an hour. It destroyed much of everything in its path for 7 miles just south of Oklahoma City in the city of Moore. Damage and fatality estimates were scattered even into Tuesday evening. Lori Kirby didn't know what to do to help. She found this baby photo.
It's got the name on it and stuff that I was going to put it on Craigslist to see if I could find the person it belongs to.
This is one of the parks in the city of Moore. It's pretty close to where this EF4 tornado first touched down and then headed eastward. Behind me are subdivisions that are now completely leveled. Families are literally picking up the pieces. But despite all this destruction, there are still stories of joy.
Well, they got out because of the storm.
Melody Hughes lost her home and her German Shepherd, Toby. We had seen dogs roaming the damage, and we thought we had seen her dog. After a few tense minutes, the 2 women who found the dog reunited them amidst the rubble.
No worries, no worries.
But the women who helped did so despite also losing so much.
It went through my whole storage unit, and like my dad passed away, and it took everything my dad ever had. And like that's just something I can't replace.
Tuesday evening, crews were working to get more cell phone coverage and power restored to the area and more. But one thing is for sure, these people will come back as strong as they were before. In Moore, Oklahoma, Chris Hurst, WDBJ 7.